We're just 85 days away from the 2024 general election. Hello and welcome to Join Is Prime with me, Carlos Kpone. In the headlines, this when was the last time you fetched water from the pipe and drank it up? I bet you don't remember. We'll tell you why many families are spending a fortune on sachet and bottled water, even though water flows through the pipes.
We use this same pipe water to bath ourselves. And as a lady, you use this water to wash your under. It's giving us effects.
And 24 aspirants filed to contest 2024 presidential election with EC yet to determine their fate as they go. And later in the bulletin, we'll bring you today's edition of the lighter side of the campaign trail as political parties wrap up their efforts with just 85 days to the elections.
But a competent Mahama administration.
Now to our very first story, the impact of galamsey on Ghana's rivers and water bodies has only deepened public mistrust in the nation's water system. Across the country, even in the most modest households where water flows from the tap, families are spending a fortune on sachet and bottled water, desperately seeking a safer alternative. But are those who turn to this sachet water truly free from contamination? Our features editor Richard Kojo Nyako explores the growing phenomenon in our the latest hotline documentary known as Drinking with Suspicion. Here are excerpts of that documentary.
In towns and cities across the country, taps are running, but the trust in the water that flows through them has evaporated. Consumers are turning to sachet water, a costly alternative, but even this doesn't bring peace of mind. Even as the pollution of the rivers continue unabated, the managing director of Ghana Water Company Limited, Clifford Brimer, believes the water they produce is good enough for drinking and that there is no cause for alarm.
It's marketing. The sachet water people want to let them know that, and to your surprise, most of the sachet people fetch our water and bag it. They don't do any treatment process, but they tell them what is in that bag is more wholesome than where they fetched it. Because they fetch it into another container. Probably the container is contaminated. And they now put it in a bag, close it and sell it to you. So there are marketing issues that is creating trust issues. But we can tell her. That's why I told you that we've done this ISO. Just to tell you, this is not a Ghanaian thing alone. It's an international standard that Ghana Water Company has gotten its system certified that we produce water to this level. So if anybody says, oh, I won't drink the water because it's because somebody else has. You let the researchers that you are talking about tell you when they run study on our water, the sachet water, and those two, the coliforms levels, where they found most. It's not for me to tell you, but you can find out. And then you realize that, no, it's not Ghana water.
The question of whether the water flowing from our taps is free from heavy metals and other contaminants is a matter of great sensitivity. It touches on both public health and trust in our infrastructure. At the heart of this issue is the Ghana Water Company, which shoulders the vital responsibility of delivering water to households across the country. Ensuring that this water meets safety standards falls to the Ghana Standards Authority, whose role in inspection, testing, and metrology provides a crucial layer of quality assurance. At the helm of the Ghana Standards Authority is Professor Alexander Dodu, the Director General overseeing efforts to guarantee that the water Ghanaians rely on meets the highest safety and quality standards.
The Ghana standards for water excludes the presence of heavy metals, period. So any activity which will contribute to the presence of heavy metal in water, because if you're using a borehole, it's going to be surface water. You're going to drill down, but whatever is on the surface will percolate down. So, and heavy metal doesn't go away. So wherever there is heavy metal, it will show up in water. If heavy metal shows up in water, that water is not safe, not fit for consumption. So I think you can draw the analogy that any activity, whether it's galamsey, whatever activity, leads to lead, mercury, any other heavy metal being present, and being present such that it can be in water, poses a risk to human health. Anything which exposes the environment to an increased level of heavy metals puts everybody in Ghana at risk.
In homes across the country, this is the new reality. Even as they pour from sachet, the people of Ghana drink with suspicion. The unseen consequences of galamsey have infiltrated every aspect of life, eroding trust and safety in something as basic as water.
We use this same pipe water to bath ourselves. And as a lady, you use this water to wash your under. It's giving us effects. To be frank, it's giving us effects. Sometimes when I fetch the water and I'm going to use it to bath, and then use that same water to wash my underpart, it's very scary.
Now, still on Ghana's water situation, the government has firmly closed the door to the demand for a temporary ban on small-scale mining in the country. Various interest groups have pushed for such a measure, but the Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister, George Mrekodoka, describes the calls as misguided. Speaking at the commissioning of the Mretweso Community Mining Scheme in the Upper Denkyira East Municipality of the Central Region, Mr. Duka argued that rather than banning small-scale mining, the government will in the coming days deploy river guards to protect the water bodies.
I am personally against the call for the ban on mining generally. You can ban mining. What would be the way to go? The way is for us as a government, we will be deploying the river guards soon. Currently, we've trained no less than 300 people. The Naval Command took that responsibility and trained this youth. So we'll very soon deploy them to protect the river bodies. Let's permanently protect the river bodies. As we have the forest guards, let's also have the river guards. We're going to procure them with body cams. So as they walk, they work. We know at any point in time what they are doing. We wouldn't listen to a call that is not in a way purporting to resolve the challenge. So if you ban, what next? In 2018, when we banned mining, we produced more gold from the small-scale mining sector than any other year. So it means it is not the solution. The solution is to find where the challenge is and resolve.
The government has established an inter-ministerial committee to engage all stakeholders to assess its efforts in tackling the illegal mining menace in Ghana. One of the government's selling points to not banning small-scale mining is the impact such as the move will have on the economy. But a tax expert, Francis Timobo, is disputing that.
By default, illegal operators or illegal miners do not pay taxes. Under the mining law, if you start getting your license, you are supposed to pay 5% royalty to the government.
Right.
And that is on your gross produce. Aside that, government also has 10% what we call the carried interest on whatever you produce. Then below the belt, we have something we call the mineral income tax, which is 35% on your profit. Those who operate in this shadow economy do not pay any of this amount. The focus is on these people who are not rather contributing to the economy by paying the right taxes. Unless the minister is saying that, look, we ourselves go and buy the produce of these illegal activities, which is, again, an issue. If, excuse me to say, producing weed is illegal, what happens to the person who buys the weed? Here, I think 2023, the mineral royalty that we have collected, including all the big mining operations, is less than 3 billion Ghana cedis. When these small-scale miners go to sell their produce, they are supposed to pay 1.5% withholding tax.
Right.
Go around the GRA offices and ask how much has been collected. Nothing. We don't have any figure available.
Meanwhile, the Chinese government has warned its nationals in Ghana against engaging in illegal mining amid the country's worsening galamsey crisis, which has devastated water bodies and forest reserves. As Ghana seeks solutions, new Chinese ambassador Tong Defa, in an interaction with journalists, said even though Ghana's environmental laws are being abused with impunity, Chinese nationals have been asked to respect the laws.
We always request Chinese citizens here to do things legally, to do things according to law and local laws and regulations, and even traditional customs. Like I know you have a lot of traditional customs. We ask Chinese, that's our way. We always, and I know there are some Chinese, not all Chinese, there are some Chinese, involved in this illegal mining, but we discourage them. We discourage them, and I follow because I was accompanied President Akufo-Addo to Beijing. He even mentioned this when he met our president last time in 2018. Our president said to himself that if any Chinese committed any illegal things here in Ghana, you do according to your law. We support you do according to your law. So we discourage Chinese people doing this illegal mining. But I read the news, now it's a topic. Actually, you have a lot of regulations, but not all people, even including Ghanaian people, they're not abiding the laws. I think Chinese people, they're only very tiny of them doing this. But we are, even in this year, we are taking a lot of measures dealing with these issues.
Now, Organized Labour says it will not engage with the ad hoc ministerial committee constituted by President Akufo-Addo to assess government effort in dealing with illegal mining. Organized Labour on Wednesday issued a stern warning to the government, threatening a nationwide strike by the end of September if decisive action is not taken to address the escalating galamsey crisis. The government has since ramped up enforcement in areas affected by illegal mining, with the latest being the president's order. Let's go on the lines to speak to a convener for Media Coalition Against Galamsey, Dr. Ken Ashigbe. Doc, grateful for your time. Government has taken some steps to give you a hearing. Will you cooperate with the ad hoc ministerial committee on this matter?
Thank you very much, Ivan. But, the interesting thing is that this is not the first committee we have seen. In the NDC time, there was an interministerial committee. Even the MPP that came, we had an interministerial committee again headed by Professor Kpone. What came of that interministerial committee? You realize that the form and structure is not too different from those other committees that has. You have a chairman who is not the minister mandated to deal with the sector. And we all know the challenges when there were some conflicts. And what has happened to the report that the chairperson of the interministerial committee presents? We were at some point that it is just here. So what is different with this interministerial committee? Unfortunately, we've not even been shared with the terms of reference of this interministerial committee.
Okay.
And let's look at an analogy, Ivan. So you have a patient rush to a hospital who is hemorrhaging heavily. Do you get the doctors go form a committee to figure out what to do? Or do they try to at least stop the bleeding, stop the hemorrhage, and then they can sit down if they have to do a conversation? So our expectation at this stage, and if you look at the statement by Labour and the statement by the Media Coalition, there are some actions that need to be taken immediately to halt the hemorrhage. The state of emergency over the water bodies and the buffers of the water bodies ends the forest reserve.
Okay.
You don't need a committee meeting. You don't need an engagement with us to be able to take those decisions. You can invoke Article 31(9). You can invoke Article 31, and all you need is the Council of State advice. And the President can do that for 7 days before even laying it before Parliament. And if you do that immediately, you declare those, and the Constitution is right. It's very clear. You can do it for part of the country. So you can do it for just the water bodies and the buffers of the water bodies, which is already illegal to mine. And make sure that that's a no-go area. And anybody who goes there, the minimum sentence is 5 years.
Okay.
And we can take a leaf from that of the UK. You remember the UK when these xenophobic attacks were happening? They didn't go setting up committees to meet other people. Immediately they went to action. They were arresting people and they could take you to court. And in 24 hours, you could be jailed. And all of those people, their faces were put in the public. And so because of that, the situation was dealt with. So it is important that we do the needful before we start doing the nice to have, especially when some of these things of forming committees and all of that have not worked in the past.
All right. Doc, we are grateful for your time. Now, moving on, it is also the final day for the filing of nominations for both the presidential and parliamentary race. We are live at the EC, but the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, has rejected appeals from the Electoral Commission to its flag bearer, John Mahama, to bring the party to the discussion table over the voters' register dispute. The NDC will be demonstrating in all parts of the country as part of its demand for a forensic audit of the voters' register, which they claimed has been padded and bloated. But addressing a news conference on Thursday, the Commission described the planned protest as unnecessary and one that will yield no result. Deputy EC Chair Samuel Tete says former President John Mahama must impress on his party to come to the table to dialogue.
The Commission strongly believes that the surest way to attaining a credible and robust register is not through demonstrations. There is simply nothing to demonstrate about. This is because the Commission has repeatedly requested the data on discrepancies from the NDC to no avail. We are of the view that the stand taken by the NDC will not produce a credible register. The Commission is of the view that the best place to resolve the issues they have identified is the discussion table. We urge them to submit details of the discrepancies they have identified to enable the Commission investigate the issues and demonstrate to them that the concerns they have been resolved. As indicated earlier, the EC assured the NDC during the meeting that it would conduct a thorough investigation and report on the issues they had detected within a week. Why are they refusing to submit the data to enable the EC to investigate and provide a report? The EC believes that the best way to ascertain the credibility and integrity of the 2024 voters register is the discussion table, not on the streets.
But in a sharp response, the national chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nkete, says the NDC will not back down its demand on the call on the former president to intervene, and it will not be heeded too. The NDC chairman says the recent commentary by the EC confirms its suspicions and will go ahead with a protest to demand forensic audit.
The EC of today different from the EC in 2016, if that is their own admission and that they are not proud of their history as an institution, then we thank them for confirming all the things we have been saying about it. Where were the plants and animals? Those people who are in EC now, the only people who have changed are the MPP people they appointed and added. And so if they are claiming that the 2016 register was not EC register, but it was NDC register, by implication they are telling us that 2024 register is MPP register. So I don't think that they think through some of these pronouncements before they make them. We have institutional image, institutional perpetual succession, and so on. So why on earth would anybody from the institution they represent come to blame NDC for the work of that same institution they are representing.
Finally, they say that demonstrations won't change anything. It won't lead to a credible register. And so they want John Mahama to appeal to you people to come to the table. They expect to speak to you so that they can resolve your concerns and not for you to go out there and demonstrate.
Sorry, they are assuming that John Mahama cannot think for himself. Because the election we are going into is a presidential election and parliamentary election. If there is any interest to be protected there, John Mahama's interest is greater than all of us.
Away from the EC, President Nana Akufo-Addo has officially commissioned the multi-million-dollar Jamestown fishing harbour, a modern facility set to transform the fishing industry in the region. The state-of-the-art harbour, located in the heart of Jamestown, is expected to boost the local economy, enhance livelihoods, and improve the working conditions of the fishing community. At the commissioning ceremony, President Akufo-Addo emphasized the government's commitment to revitalizing the fishing sector, which has been a cornerstone of Ghana's coastal economy for generations. There's more in the following report.
President Akufo-Addo at the commissioning said the Jamestown fishing harbour was a testament to government's dedication to ensuring that the fishing industry remains vibrant and profitable for the people who rely on it. He was optimistic the facility will also enhance the quality of life for the fishing community in Jamestown.
My government, fully aware of the critical role artisanal fishing plays in our economy and in the livelihoods of many Ghanaians, made it a priority to transform the fishing industry. We took bold, decisive steps to improve conditions for our hard-working fisherfolk, those whose daily toil sustains community and feeds our nation.
Transport Minister Kweku Ofori-Esiama told the gathering that there is no contention over the project when it comes to who started or completed it, and hence urged the people of Ododo-Dio to reward the MPP accordingly.
I'm saying that there should not be any contention. A contention of who started is one person. The contention of conceiving the idea, the contention of starting the project, and the contention of commissioning the project. Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, the President of Ghana. Thank you very much.
Also present at the event was the Gamanche, Ni Takite Kuchu II. He thanked the government for such a laudable project and hoped it will impact the lives of the indigenes positively.
Express deep gratitude to His Excellency the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo, Government of Ghana, and all collaborators of this monumental project for bringing this dream to life. I stand here as a voice of Gadangbe. I stand also as a voice of the Gadangbe youth, whose heritage is rooted in the waters. I appeal to the Ministry of Transportation to ensure that a quota is allocated for the benefit of our young people.
The new fishing harbour is equipped with cold storage facilities, fish processing areas, an auction market, and modern sanitation systems, ensuring that fish products meet international standards. It also features docking spaces for fishing vessels, maintenance workshops, and a kindergarten for fisherfolk with young children.
Now, the Coalition on Family Values March is increasing pressure on Chief Justice Gertrude Stokonu to expedite the empaneling of the Supreme Court for a ruling on two pending cases related to the Family Values Bill. The court had originally scheduled a ruling for July 17, 2024 on Dr. Amanda Odoi's injunction and Richard Delaskai's application against the anti-gay bill. However, the ruling was deferred due to concerns about prejudice from related cases. At a press conference in Accra, MP for Ningo Pram and a leading advocate of the anti-LGBT bill urged Chief Justice Stokonu to avoid any further delays and promptly empanel the court to address the cases. He also announced that the coalition has decided to postpone its planned protest to October 8 with the intention of intensifying pressure on the Supreme Court to act swiftly on these matters.
There is no matter before the Supreme Court that is more important than a determination on this matter, which stays the hands of both the legislature and the executive. There is no case before the Supreme Court of Ghana today that affects both the legislature and executive, for which reason we believe that this must be primus inter pares. There was a quorum judgment in support by His Lordship Justice Yoni Kolendi. We believe that and hold the view that in light of the judgment of the Supreme Court in that case, which deals extensively with the same matters raised by Amanda Odoi and Richard Delaskai, the Chief Justice must empanel the Supreme Court and determine the matter in tandem with what her colleagues in that panel have done, with alacrity. Because this matter is one that stays in the hands of both the executive and the legislature. In light of this, we have decided to postpone the Family Values March from the 17th of September to the 8th of October to allow for the political demonstration to happen and all of its consequences to be done. And then the next available dates which we're able to arrive at with the regional command is the 8th of October.
Meanwhile, board chairman of Advocate for Christ, Ghana, and a key figure in the coalition for the Family Values March, Edem Senano, expressed frustration over the court's inaction. He said after 8 weeks, the court has yet to provide a timeline for the case, despite the urgent interest from over 93% of Ghanaians for a clear update from the Chief Justice, regardless of any legal vacation.
When on the 17th of July, the panel that sat said that they would afford a timely hearing of the matter, we expected almost immediately, within at least 2 to 3 weeks, that the schedule for the hearings of these cases, if the court was so minded to get into the substantive matters, that schedule would have been provided so that the 93% plus, as you remember the CDD report of 2019-2021, indicated that over 93% of Ghanaians have a certain view on this practice, and that position is no. So if you have 93%, as we know in law, good law is dependent on what the majority believe the norms of the society should be. Nothing could be much more critical than ensuring that the 93% of Ghanaians and their interest in this matter is addressed. And so it's unfortunate that going 8 weeks plus, there is no feedback. Our research shows that various jurisdictions across the globe ensure that even within the legal vacation, all courts sit. There is the arrangement, because justice must be efficient and justice must be delivered for citizens, that even when there's a legal vacation, courts sit and make sure that substantive matters are addressed. And so we find it very curious that such a matter, which is at the heart and very present for 93% of Ghanaians, has not found the hearing of the Supreme Court of Ghana.
You're still watching the Joy News Prime with me, Carlos Kaloni. We'll take a short break. We'll return with more. Please stay. Welcome back. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountant, AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a Convenience Service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. Now, this evening, 24 aspirants have filed to contest for the 2024 presidential elections at the end of filing of nominations on Friday. The number is out of a total of 33 candidates expected to file ahead of the December 7 elections. My colleague James Avaji has a wrap of the activities in the following report.
24 aspirants have filed so far at the close of nominations to contest in the 2024 presidential elections. Out of this, some 10 of the aspirants have filed on the ticket of various political parties, with 11 of them filing to go as independent candidate and 3 female aspirants. Now, the fate of 2 other candidates, Dr. Ni Amudako, who is an independent candidate, as well as Kofi Asamoah Siao, is in limbo because they are yet to know whether the Electoral Commission will work on their nomination forms, because according to the commission, they have filed behind the 5 o'clock schedule.
Things are being submitted after 5. So we are not expected to receive nominations after 5. The premises of the EC is not where we complete nomination forms. Candidates are expected to complete their nomination forms and file within the stipulated time. And I am repeating, candidates are not expected to come and fill nomination forms at the premises of the Electoral Commission. So we are not going to accept it. We will receive it, but we are not going to accept the forms.
The total number of aspirants could have been 25, but the EC have rejected outrightly the filing of one Dr. Aisha, who appeared before the electoral commissioners without her forms, pleading with the committee to give her ample time to file and resubmit her forms.
I came with a vision to support and help the country. Okay. But I haven't been able to come here. But I have everything that need to complete this process. I have my funds, I have the people that accept the forms, because the districts are many. Some of the things that we encountered when we were going rounds was that
this is not the forum for this one.
Okay.
So you can just cut it and we'll meet you so that you can wait for us in that room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, some of the aspirants have been speaking to the media right after filing their nominations, projecting what exactly their plans are for the nation if elected on December 7.
Everything that Ghana owns and exports, the people of Ghana will have a share. I am saying that if you don't get anything at all, 300 to 500 Ghana cedis from these cumulative resources will enter into your account. So just imagine per month, because every month we sell.
We have to live in this country and go for greener pasture somewhere, where we choose to stay and fix the problem. So I would like Ghanaians to give us the opportunity for us also to lead and fix the issues on ground. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The EC said by Tuesday, September 17, the 2 committees said to vet the forms of all of these nominees would have completed their work, and the final results would be declared to the general public. From the EC headquarters here in Accra, my name is James Aveji, reporting for Joy News.
Now, the parliamentary race for the Kpone constituency in the Greater Accra region is heating up as the New Patriotic Party, the NPP's parliamentary candidate, William Ofosu Asante, signals his strongest determination to end the 32-year reign of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC. Ofosu Asante views his candidacy as a mission to rescue the constituency from years of underdevelopment and lead it towards progress, which he claims has been neglected under the NDC rule. Filing his nomination at the Electoral Commission, he also expressed confidence in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's victory in the presidential race.
William Ofosu Asante has been cleared to contest the 2024 elections as incoming member of parliament for the people, the good people of Kpone constituency. What we see here today is not just an ambition of an individual or of a party. What we see here is a commission and a mission to rescue the good people of Kpone Katamanso and to put all of us on the path of progress and development. We have been left out for such a long time. What we haven't seen in 32 years is the leadership that we have all been desiring to get. And so my candidature now promises nothing but good leadership, a leadership that is coming to serve everybody without discrimination. And so the representation you see behind me is just something to represent the whole. And it's not only limited to the New Patriotic Party, but it's welcoming to everybody. So on the team, anybody, everybody is welcome to help change the narrative in Kpone Katamanso. And as you may be aware, the MPP is definitely, by the grace of God, going to win the general election under the leadership of His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And the final thing I will say, honestly, is that in P, you can't say Yamine Sihene. And once Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been elected and appointed by the Lord himself to rule over Ghana, and William Ofosu Asante same over Kpone Katamanso, then let the will of God and the people's will be made manifest.
Now the countdown is on and parties are intensifying campaigns with just 85 days to the general polls. But that is not without some funny moments. My colleague Prince Kwame Kuduga chronicles some of the funny moments in the following report.
It is a season of promises, but who is promising the most? It is evident the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, enjoyed taking a swipe at his opponent, John Mahama. Here is another one from him.
He wants a Kuko Kiti and 24-hour disco. The bus is in Wale Wale and the mate is going to take it from Wale Wale and get to Paga and beyond, and we will transform this country.
It's on by a competent Mahama administration. MPP is going to come and transform Ghana in 1.5 years.
The NDC has been clamoring for an independent audit of the voters' register, but the EC is having none of that. The EC has a nice explanation to the NDC's demands.
Perhaps this is the first time the NDC has taken interest in the register. Otherwise, one would have expected them to call for such an audit of the 2016 register, which contained photos of plants and animals representing voters.
They may be considered underdogs in the electoral race, but they are not taking the elections lightly at all. The APC's Hassan Ayariga and LPG's Kofi Akpalu are slugging it out.
I'll win this election. I'll win this election. And where the results are going to, where the votes are going to come from, myself, I don't even know. But I know one thing for sure, that I'll win this election.
Okay.
I'll win. I'm the next president of Ghana. Nobody can change it.
He's dreaming, and I want him to wake up. If he's still dreaming, when he's awake, then we can discuss the issues.
And you remember this, right? Well, that was President Akufo-Addo in 2020, but the NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has a remix.
From Boafakwata time no. Boafakwata no, yes, Unyane. Bono, hey. Wait there, man, can you hear crack.
Until the elections are over, you can always trust us to bring you more of the funny quotes on the campaign trail. And of course, politics in Ghana should never be boring. Prince Kwame Kudoge's report for Joy News.
Let's talk about Grammy-nominated artist and United Nations Ambassador Rocky Dawuni. He has made a plea to Ghanaians to take immediate action against the destructive practice of illegal mining known as galamsey. In an interview on Daybreak Hits, Rocky Dawuni expressed concern about the devastating impact of galamsey on country's natural resources.
In the value of water, and we are destroying all our waterways.
Can you imagine?
So just imagine that in future, what God has given us, the value of water is priceless. So destroying water just because of an immediate, wealth, acquisition of wealth, and destroying something that cannot be, your price cannot attach on, I feel is such a curse. And we need to rise up as a people and make sure that we focus on this galamsey issue.
It's crazy.
Because as even an ambassador for environment for the United Nations for Africa, you can imagine, I go to all these conferences and people just walk up to me from different countries and say, what is going on with this? And I tell them, I don't know. I have no words to explain. So all my people, let's stand up and stop this because it's robbing our future. It's destroying our livelihood. It's putting cyanide, mercury, all these heavy metals into our food chain. And then all of that is going into our waterways. So imagine that when you open your tap and you drink, some of this stuff that is in the rivers, we are connected to the rivers ourselves. We are part of this whole network of life.
Rocky Dawuni there. But meanwhile, he's touched on the conversation about Ghanaian winning the Grammys, and he says that we need to focus more on developing the system here in Ghana before talking about winning Grammys.
That you put in without thinking of awards. For me, that is what has worked. I've always believed in just doing the best that I can, the best music that I can, putting in the best effort that I can, because you're making a timeless piece of art. And beyond all the accolades, it's going to be judged. Bob and Fela never won Grammys before.
No nomination.
Yeah, all the people who were nominated at that time, where did they? Nobody hear of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the music is bigger than any kind of award. And I say that not to say that there's no value in the Grammys, but we have to focus more on how do we develop our system? How do we invest in our creative environment? High life music, which is the foundation of our music. When you go around, how many high life bands do you see playing out there? How many high life do you hear on the radio here? People travel to come to Ghana to experience high life. And when they come, you turn on the radio, it's like the playlist is totally different. Foreign. So who is doing who? You know what I mean? We have the capacity to change our situation, but we're thinking that the capacity has to come from somewhere else.
Rocky Dawuni ending showbiz here on Joy News Prime. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
Joe Metal has just released his album, so if you're a Christian, Muslim, anybody, you can just log on to his channels and listen to all the songs that he has for you. Also log on to myjoyonline.com. That's where you find all the credible news that we have. I've been doing this with Carlos Kaloni.
And she's Becky Bex. It's a Friday. Enjoy your evening.
Where would you be going, though?
I'm going to catch some sleep. I love to sleep.
I'll join his car.
Okay. Bye-bye.